Hi and welcome to this tutorial on Openasapp application. So I'm considering a country resort where we will try to find out the scenario and how Openasapp can be used in the scenario. Now the scenario is a very simple one. Here, country resort has multiple types of rooms available for booking, and most of the booking inquiry come when the manager is not on his desk. So the manager wanted a mobile view of his available rooms for ready reference. For this, we have to understand what is the database of rooms. We understand from him that there is a ground floor, there is a first floor, and a second floor. So we have done the Excel part. I'll just tell you how it works. So assume that we have this list here. We are going to create an Excel application or an Excel sheet where whenever, if suppose I write G7 here, G7, then just see in this yellow colored cell G7 disappears. So that means that we have a list of rooms, we have a list of occupied rooms, and we have a list of unoccupied rooms. So this is what would be visible to the manager in his Openasapp application. Now let's begin. Hi and welcome to this Openasapp application. In this video, I'll show you how to set up the Excel file. So let me open a new Excel file where first I'll list down all the available rooms. So once I have a list, I will assume that it is from G1, G2 up to G5, right? And I'll convert it into a table. I select that my table has a header, and I go to the table name and say that this is the list of all rooms. Now I cannot give space here, so I will have to just make a underscore in all the places wherever I have given space. Right, so done. So now I am renaming this sheet also as list of all rooms. I am creating one more sheet where I'll say that I'll keep a name of occupied rooms. So I will have to generate one more list here, occupied rooms. Now this can be what do you say, this can be a list of 5 rooms. So for my showing this feature, I'll just write down G1 and convert it into a table, right? And I'll rename this table as occupied rooms. Now one more requirement would be that occupied rooms and then the list of unoccupied rooms, or I can say that available rooms. So same thing here, available rooms, so that you don't get disturbed, confused. I have kept each of my list in a new sheet. I convert this also into a table. My table has a header and available rooms. Right. So how does this work? So there are 5 rooms as of now in the resort. This is the list of occupied rooms, and available rooms is this. I'm showing you with a very small example so that it is easy for you to understand. So now what I have to do is, whenever G4 comes in this occupied list, if G4 comes here, then these two are occupied from the list of all these 5 rooms, and therefore G2, G3 and G5 should be visible here, right? So I'll use some functions to generate it automatically. Okay, got the point. So I have a full list of rooms and I have a partial list of occupied rooms. So now I'll compare these two things, these two lists, and find out in this cell whether G1 is occupied or not. So first thing is that I will use a match function, match this G1 in this list, right? And I want an exact match, so I'll put a comma 0. So now the match function will say that yes, G1 is available there. Now if I drop the formula, it will show me that G4 is also available in the second place, whereas G2, G3 and G5 are not available in this occupied list. Now if I suppose add one more like G3, it will automatically here in the list of all the rooms, it will say that it is there. So now if you see, we need to extract these NAs into our available rooms list, right? So what I do is I use a function called as isNA. So if I use the function isNA to this match function, it will just tell me whether it is true or false. So now whenever true is there, that means that that cell needs to be extracted to the available rooms. So whenever it is false, it means that it is already booked. So my requirement is to extract this true. So for that, what I do is I have put a match function and then I have put an isNA. Now I'll do one more function here. I'll use a sum function. I use sum function, and the sum is always between two numbers. The sum of this value comma one's value above. So what happens? This number will become 0, and then if I drop the formula, this 1 is to be extracted, this 5 or number 2 which is G5 needs to be extracted. Now just see how this works. If I delete this G3 here, automatically the number G3 gets a new number 2. If suppose G2 is coming up in this place, then G2 will not be extracted. In short, whenever there is a unique number, we will be requiring it to be extracted. Okay, so my final step is to get the list of available rooms in this place. Now I hope you have understood what is the list of rooms, what is occupied rooms, and I need to extract two rooms, that is G3 and G5 here automatically. Now to extract them automatically, I will be using these numbers. These are all helper columns, and those helper columns will help us to identify which is the room number which needs to be extracted. So from our list, this number 1, number 2 needs to be extracted. So what I do is I write down values here 1 to 5, and then here I do a VLOOKUP equal to VLOOKUP this value in this table array. Just see that it is overlapping. This is a table, whereas this is not a table. The helper column is not in the table feature. So the table array is BT to B6. I use a function key F4 to lock the cell reference, comma, I want a second column to be extracted and a 0 for an exact match. So now if you see here, those G3, G5 are extracted from using this occupied rooms. Now in case G2 is deleted from this list, automatically from the occupied list, if G2 is removed, G2 will become available room. Whereas if I say that I add one more room in the occupied cell, suppose G5 is occupied, then in the available room G5 should not be visible, G5 is not visible. So this is how it works. Now as a final step, because there is an NA turning up here, I'll use a if NA formula, if NA. So whenever this value is if NA, I'll just want a double quotes. So now this will remove the NAs from being displayed. So finally, we have a list of rooms, we have occupied rooms and unavailable rooms. Please understand there's only these columns I have made it as tables. I have not converted this B column into a table. Only this list of rooms is kept in the table feature. Now I save this one. Now let me go to the Openasapp application to generate the app based on this one. Now here I'll go to my dashboard, an app, and I'll create a new app. So I'll give the name of the app as Country Resort. I'm just giving a 2 because I have already recorded 1. So next I select a default theme for that. Then I choose the file. So the section C is, I have taken this Country Resort, this file, I have worked on it. So I open that file, I start building my app. Now it takes for a few seconds for you to edit the app. So we have an app available here. Now as my requirement is that I should be able to see only the available and the booked rooms, what I do is, first of all, I add a list of table. In this table, because I have given names to my Excel sheet, just see, if you remember, I went to the table design and I gave the rooms. Here when you come to this Openasapp application, it will tell you the list of all rooms, the occupied rooms, and those things, and that uh, what do you say, those tables, predefined tables, are available for importing. Now first of all, I'll select the list of occupied rooms. You can see here that the occupied rooms can be imported. I just click import and it comes off here. I'll have to rename it. I can what do you say, I can add one more page here. I'll add one more page where I'll say that this one is the occupied rooms, right? And this one, this page, if you want, it is a available rooms. Right. Now if you see here, the available rooms, I mean the occupied rooms, I have a list of 3 rooms that are getting displayed, whereas in available rooms nothing is getting displayed. So now I'll add a table and it'll ask me where is it. I can very well go straight to my available rooms and select these tables, this only these uh, 5 or 6 cells, and then say that add to the app. So now it understands that the list is already there and I can allow it to be what is it, changed. So here in this allow change or user changes, I will have to allow it to be edited. I save the app, and if you want to edit some more things, suppose I say that I also want to add a list of all the rooms, then I'll add one more element, add a new page. I'll say that it is a list of all rooms, list of all rooms. Now this is just an information because I don't think this would be used. The main criteria is to know what is the occupied room and what is the available room. In the list of all rooms, I add one more list here. It's a table, and here just see the list of all rooms is predefined in a table, and therefore I just add an import. So I have all the list here. So I save it, and the preview, you can do this. Now in the preview, you already know that this is the list of all the rooms. 5 rooms are there, and the list of available rooms are G2 and G3. Now if we want to see whether there is a continuous change whenever we make an edit, just come here. As of now, I did have closed the what is a change protocol. If you just come back, I have to go to the manage. I have to allow user changes, and I should allow editing the lists. So now if I come back, I'll save this and I come back to my edit. This takes a few seconds, and now I go and preview it. And in the preview you can just see that as of now we have G1, G4, G5, and the available rooms are G2, G3. Now in case I make an edit here, that is I have one more occupied room, I'm just making that there is an occupied room G3 has been added up. Then I just save it. So this is a preview in our system, right? So then I'll show you how it works on the mobile. I have added G1, G4, G5, therefore the available rooms will be G2. No, I think there's some error. No, sorry, yeah, G1, G2. G2 is not there. G3, G4 and G5 are there, therefore the available rooms are just G2. So this is how it works. Whenever you make changes in the occupied rooms, the available rooms will automatically update. And if suppose I delete this G5, I say that G5 has been vacated, I just have to edit it, save it. So G5 has been removed from the occupied list. That means it is as of now available. So let's see if it is showing up in the available rooms tab. Yes, it has gone, and therefore it has to show up G5. So this is how it works. And the next video I'll show you the demonstration of how we can do it in two mobile apps. That means that I'll share the app with two people, and then whenever one person edits the app, the other one is also able to see the changes. How the display of Openasapp is on Samsung S6 Lite. So I have this application here, Openasapp, and this is the application that we just built. So it may ask you to add a home screen button. If you wish, you can add it. Now as I see, there is an available room, list of rooms, and the occupied rooms, right? So I'll just try to show what happens in this tab. Now for example, if in the occupied room I add one more, for example if there is an available room of G5, I'll add G5 here in the occupied room. I can write here as G5 and press the add button. Therefore it gets added up, and whereas in the available room it vanishes. And if I want to add, for example, or if I delete G1 from the occupied room, if I edit G1 and save it, then in the available room G1 gets listened. So this is working fine in Samsung S6 Lite. Let's see how it works in my mobile device. This is my mobile device, and here also I'll just open my Openasapp application. Here is a app, Country Resort 2. I open it, and here as usual the occupied rooms, available rooms are visible. Now in occupied rooms I'll just add G5 and let's see if it works. G5. Now one of the things that is important is that we have to use the same names, that is G1, G2, G3, G4 and G5. We cannot use some other numbers because that is how the functions have been written. So in the occupied rooms, if G5 is added up, then the available rooms G5 gets deleted. So well, here also it is working fine.